And now, here's our
Miami is a major transportation center and is easily reached by all forms of travel. The Latin American influence has given Miami a unique flavor.
In the 70s, when I first came down here, everybody was smuggling pot in. The Colombians realized they had a gold mine here. Everybody that before was doing these pot things was now into doing cocaine.
The Colombians threw a number at us. $3,000 a kilo. In the first trip, we got paid $1.2 million.
Popularity, it began to shoot up. I had never seen so much cocaine in my entire life. I had lawyers, I had doctors.
Somebody that could afford what it cost.
About $800 an ounce. I had met a stewardess, and she would go from here to San Francisco, selling to the Oakland Raiders, the Grateful Dead. I got the whole front line of the Pittsburgh Steelers in my house. It was everywhere. Clubs, restaurants, it was just everywhere. They made far more money, the Colombians, in a far shorter time than the mafia ever dreamed.
The Federal Reserve Bank in Miami generated a surplus of $5 billion, more money than all of the other Federal Reserve combined.
Cocaine deaths in Dade County have now jumped to about 2 a week.
Shotguns, Uzi, handguns.
It was the beginning of a war.
Isela Blanco was the godmother of the cocaine trade. One mean lady, she likes us to cut people up in little pieces, put them in a small box with a little bow on top. She said, that's the way I do my things.
You have 5 people killed here, 3 people killed here. Mass murder.
Miami was the most dangerous place on earth.
They called them the Cocaine Cowboys.
They called them the Cocaine Cowboys.
Cocaine Cowboys.
This is why Miami is for you.
Hey guys, I'm Kirsten. I'm here with director Billy Corbin and co-editor and co-producer David Sipkin of the documentary Cocaine Cowboys. Now, Cocaine Cowboys is about the cocaine era in Miami in the 1970s and early 80s and its cultural impact in Miami. How did you guys come up with the idea of making a documentary about that?
Well, we're from Miami, born and raised, and still here, as you can see. Yeah. And we'd always wanted to do something on this part of our history, and we only really have from that era, as far as entertainment goes, Scarface and Miami Vice, and so we wanted to contribute something to the genre, but wanted to do it in a non-fiction way, tell the real story of Scarface and Miami Vice.
Right. You guys included an interview of Griselda Blanco, who has been said to put Tony Soprano to shame.
And Tony Montana to shame.
And Tony Montana to shame. How did you guys get that interview, and what was that like to actually interview her?
Well, we didn't interview her. We interviewed her hitman.
Okay.
She was the one who gave the orders, but he was the one who pulled the trigger. So that in and of itself was in a way even more interesting than getting her herself to sit down. She is... I mean, they blame her, anybody in law enforcement from that era blames her for the cocaine wars, blames her for Miami having become the murder capital of the country. And this guy, Rivi, her hitman, was the guy responsible. He's confessed to over 29 murders. He's the suspect in several additional murders, and he tells us in gruesome and chilling detail all of his crimes in the movie in Cocaine Cowboys.
Yeah, this woman was a one-woman crime wave, really. I mean, the statistics, the murder rate in Miami was I think 630 some odd murders in 1981, and Griselda herself, her organization, was responsible for hundreds of murders. So her activity in the early 80s literally brought the crime rate up.
You had a lot of research and a lot of interviews in this documentary. How long did it take you to complete it?
Technically 12 years. Because
Really?
we started researching it when we first formed our company, which was 12 years ago, Rack and Tour, when we were sophomores in high school. And so really that's when the research began. I mean, all in all, about 3 years once we started really working, locking it down, doing the specific research. I mean, your typical movie has like 1,500 cuts in it when you go see a 2-hour movie. This movie has 5,000. And every single one of those shots we had to research, we had to produce, we had to put together and then edit together. And so it took a lot of work, and there's a lot. It's a very packed movie.
A lot of people have questioned whether or not we were on cocaine while we were cutting the movie. I've noticed in some reviews.
It certainly feels that way when you watch the movie.
That's pretty funny. How did you guys get to where you are now, as far as like film school, or what's your past experiences?
History. I went to Florida State University Film School up in the Panhandle, which is a great program and very prestigious. But it's of course in the middle of North Florida, and I had of course always planned on coming back down here to Miami.
I went to school at the University of Miami, triple majored there. Of course, it's the place where we don't start fights, but we finish them. So we're very proud, very proud of the University of Miami. Go Canes.
Go Canes. Okay, do you guys have a MySpace?
Oh yeah, we have, yeah we do. Well, we have it's myspace.com/Cocaine Cowboys. Okay. And cocainecowboys.com. Certainly, we also have a YouTube station, which is youtube.com/Raconteur, RAKONTUR. Okay. And then my MySpace is myspace.com/Billy Corbin. Not Corgan, but Corbin, BEN.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cocaine Cowboys was released in select theaters October 27th.
It's opening wider and wider and wider.
Yes, and it's rated R for drug and violence and stuff like that. So thank you guys, and good luck with everything.
Thank you. Thank you very much.